Hello and welcome to This Week in Property. In today's show, we have that fabulous, handsome gentleman that you can see beside me. That gentleman's name is Mr. Daniel Raz. Now, I want to pre-frame today's chat because here's the thing: if you did a Google on Daniel Raz, or maybe you came across his stuff already online, you might see titles such as Daniel Raz, Fat Loss Fitness Coach and Business Owner, and you might wait a minute. On This Week in Property, yes, there's a very specific reason why I'm really excited to have Daniel on, and it actually comes in two flavours. Because flavour number one, Daniel knows all about being an entrepreneur, all about starting a business, getting off the ground, the ups and downs of that lifestyle. So that's obviously something we can chat about because people watching, people listening in have that exact same lifestyle. But then there's the health part of the puzzle, because Daniel, through his skills and knowledge and the services he gives to people, he then helps those very same people, those business owners, those entrepreneurs with the crazy lifestyles and stuff, to balance up the health that then makes their business much more successful. Because, of course, this body that we move around in, if it's not in optimal shape, if this brain isn't in optimal shape, we don't have goals and milestones and health and optimal, performance, if you like, then we're not going to make the best decisions. So those people in business need to know a lot of the magic that Daniel knows, such as, how to combat doing a lot of flying here, there and everywhere, how to deal with the stress that we all know about. So they're very, very much married together. Daniel, just by way of introduction, number one, welcome. And number two, do you agree with what I've kind of set up for us? Is that fair to say that those two worlds collide so delicately?
Thanks for the introduction. And yeah, everything you said was 100% accurate.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that fitness is one of the most transferable skills there is.
Yeah.
Because let's say you are extremely competent at playing piano, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But unless you have a piano near you, you can't show off that skill. But you take your body everywhere you go. So how you look, how you feel matters in your job, your social life, your relationship, everything.
Everything, yeah, definitely. Tremendous. So there we go. We've got our framework and we know where we're going. But let's go back in time before you are who you are, before you're doing what you're doing just now and helping so many people. Have you always done this? I mean, what's the kind of career summary? Did you just jump out of university and go straight into this work, or have you done other stuff in the background?
Right, so if we go all the way back, I'm originally from Israel. When I was six, my family and I moved to China, and because I was a kid, and back then in 2004, when I moved to Shenzhen, I was pretty much the only foreigner. So much so that as soon as they saw a white guy, they wanted to take me modeling. So the only options were Chinese food. There was nothing else. So from 6 to 12, other than McDonald's, I don't believe I consumed anything else. Every time I went to restaurants, I ate McDonald's, right? And that is going to show you that it doesn't matter how much you believe you're addicted to junk food, you can always change your taste buds. Right?
Love
So
it.
from 6 to 12, basically I ate with the McDonald's, that's it.
That's
And
brilliant.
just because I would refuse to eat anything else. I was that kid, right?
Oh,
The pickiest
wow.
eater you can imagine. Then at age 12, I started playing basketball. And my brother told me if I want to be more competent at basketball, then I have to be healthier, meaning I have to eat healthier, which was pretty much anything except what I ate,
Mm.
right? So I slowly started educating myself, trying new foods. I vividly remember the first time I tried grilled cheese just because it was so different than the chicken nuggets I was used to, right? So I slowly started educating myself about health and fitness and gradually started eating healthier and healthier. Around the age of 17, I decided to work out more seriously. And what was interesting was at age 18, 19, I discovered that I was confident not just in the gym, but also outside of the gym.
Mm.
Because in basketball, I felt really good about myself on the basketball court. But
Right.
in school, in social events, I felt awkward, a bit insecure, just because it was not a transferable skill. Just because you're good at basketball, it doesn't matter in your job. It doesn't matter in your social life. It doesn't matter in school. But after a few years of working out, I realized I was sharper. I had more energy. I was more focused. My memory was better. I could sleep better. And that
Yeah.
directly translated into everything,
Yeah.
right? Because you could literally take your body with you everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So I actually went to university in Canada for exercise and nutrition because I wanted to be a physiotherapist, and so did 95% of my classmates. However, after my second year of university, I'm like, I'm not feeling this physiotherapist thing. I want to be a personal trainer, right? So I walked in a few gyms, and I'm not sure if you heard, but in 2020 there was sort of a lockdown going on,
Yeah, something
right?
happened. Yeah, I remember that. I vaguely remember that.
Right. So that was the first time I couldn't go to the gym, so I had to figure out how to work out at home.
Yeah.
And after a decade of experience already, I was able to get pretty much the same results without going to the gym.
Mm.
Right. So I'm like, okay, if I can do this to myself, maybe I can help
Wow.
other people as well.
Yeah.
And I like to give the metaphor that you know the chef Gordon Ramsay,
Yes. Yes.
right? So Gordon Ramsay can make a better meal with one pan than the average person can with five pans.
Yeah.
It's not about the equipment you have, it's about knowing what to do, right?
Yes.
And I realized that because I know what to do, I don't need any equipment. I just need myself. That's the most versatile equipment there is.
Yeah.
And so I started with like really like low ticket courses, like selling like PDFs and things like that. I tried to educate myself on Facebook advertisement, wasted a bunch of money, nothing worked. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, clearly I don't want to waste years figuring this out myself. I'm just gonna pay a bunch of money to a mentor. That's exactly what I did. I actually paid way more money than I had. We can go into that if you'd like. uh, and yeah, slowly started to get to who I am right now.
Mm, fantastic. What a journey. What a journey from Israel to China to Canada. It's incredible. And then that whole life experience as well of, going through your training and thinking, actually, I'm going to change path. I'm going to go here. And then bang, the pandemic, I'm going to try something else. And actually, wait a minute, I'm getting the results. That's fantastic. Straight away, I'm already excited. In fact, if I unpack some of the things you said there, I love the fact, and I know there's a lot of parents listening, the fact that you spoke about how the palate, it can be changed from this filthy junk food and stuff, even after a long period of a picky eater and a young child. Like, I mean, that's a breath of fresh air to hear, because I know there's a lot of worried parents when you look at today's world, because we're all so busy. We're also busy trying to, keep our jobs in, do our investing, get our business life, our relationships, our marriage. Oh my goodness, keep everything on point. And then if we've got kids then depending on us, all of a sudden you just, oh my God, let's just go to McDonald's. Oh, let's just go to KFC. It's such an easy trap to fall into, isn't it, these days?
100%. And that's a great point that you just made. Because people are so busy, because people have kids that stress, they just go for the default option, which in our society is McDonald's. And that's why when somebody comes into my one-on-one coaching program, then I always start them with what I call the easy wins. So things that don't take time, don't take effort, and still move the needle in the favor. And the reason why I do that is because if you ask people on January 1st
Mhm.
what their goals are, they say, okay, I'm going to work out 2 hours every single day. I'm not going to eat any junk food, no sugar. I'll be super strict. I'm like, okay, you are you haven't done anything close to that. That's an
Yeah,
extremely high expectation. I
yeah,
don't do that. That's a lot. Unless you're the
yeah,
top 1% of athletes, that's unreasonable. That's
yeah.
unrealistic.
Right.
So I believe that the reason most people fall off, they're not consistent, is they don't see tangible results.
Yeah,
If every single week you look in the mirror, you look better than the week before, you'll want to continue. You'll be motivated by yourself,
yeah.
right? So let's start with things that don't take time, don't take effort, and still move the needle in your favor. So, as an example, I can't snap and say that there'll be 25 or 26 hours a day, making you able to sleep an extra hour or two. But what I
Hmm.
can do is give you a few simple tips that you can improve the quality of your sleep. And if you improve
Right.
the quality of your sleep, you will have more energy, you will be more focused, you will just perform better. And quality is it might be more important than the quantity of your sleep. Another
Yes.
what I call easy win is like having a water bottle within arm's reach at all times.
Yeah.
Most people think they're hungry, they're either dehydrated or they're bored. Right? If you
Yeah.
simply drink water every time you feel hungry, you won't be nearly as hungry anymore.
Gotcha. I love it. I love it. Energy, focus, productivity, attention spans. And these are all the things that every single business owner needs, every investor needs, because otherwise we're going to make just pathetic decisions and things are going to fail. I love it. So let me ask you this straight away. I'm going to get your opinion on something because we spoke about nutrition, talk about McDonald's and changing food choices and Gordon Ramsay. We spoke about sleep, just kind of throwing a couple of breadcrumbs there about sleep. And then, of course, we spoke about exercise, being the whole kind of journey of being a PT and instructor and so on and so forth. Those three big areas of nutrition, food, call it what you want, sleep, and exercise. How would you personally rate them? Because I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, it's an 80-20 thing. Nutrition is 80% of the importance of your kind of health and well-being, and it's only 20% exercise. And then there's other, obviously, experts out there, like I'm thinking of Dr. Matthew Walker, a big sleep specialist, talking all about the sleep. It doesn't matter how hard you work in exercise or how much good food you have, if your sleep is not on point, then your body can't properly, process everything that you're doing. So where would you put them in order of priority, if you like, with your own personal experience?
Yeah, so I'll probably categorize it differently than most people. So, firstly, what I call easy wins. So, sleep, water intake, walking while talking on the phone, this daily lifestyle, things
Yeah,
that don't take time, don't take effort, and
right,
still, as I said, move the needle in your favor. So, I would say that's number one.
right.
And the beauty about this is you can do this, doesn't matter how stressed you are, doesn't matter what happens in your life.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that no matter what happens in your life, you always brush your teeth. Just because you have that standard, just because you know it doesn't take time, just because
right.
you know it's helpful, right? So
Yeah,
there's so many things that, again, take minimal time and effort and
yeah,
make a tremendous difference. So that would be number one.
right,
So that's sleep, water intake, how much you walk, just like daily things like that.
right.
Then I would say nutrition. Then I would say exercise.
Right, interesting. I love it, and you're right. Those easy ones. I think it was Tim Ferriss. I heard someone was asking him. Tim, you speak about the ketogenic diet. You speak about low carb diet, high protein diet, blah blah blah. This, that, and the other. What's the best one to do? And his simple response was, you see, when people ask me about health or nutrition or exercise, everything else, I say to them, the best one that you can do is the one that you'll be able to continue to do. And you
Mhm.
say to yourself, that I'm going to do 6 hours a day and this, that, and the other. And they set these
Yeah.
crazy 1st of January milestones. If that doesn't happen, then it's just pointless. All of the kind of benefits are gone. Whereas if you have something that you can actually stick to, such as a bright wee tip you gave there was go and get a water bottle. Don't just say to yourself, I'm going to drink more water. This, pie in the sky dream of, yeah, I'm going to be much better at drinking water. Are you? Are you really? Well, put in a system in place that you're actually going to stick to it. Go and buy an actual bottle, a flask, or whatever, and that's now your bottle. Have it everywhere with you. And as you said, if it's in close proximity, then there's much more chance of success, isn't there? You go, oh, I better get another drink of water. Whereas if it's not there, you'll just say to yourself, oh, I'll finish this email,
Yeah.
then I'll go and get some water. I'll finish that.
Yep.
You always put it off, don't you?
100%.
Why are we built this way? Have you looked into the psychology of these things? When you're doing all your training, when you're doing all your work and your experience of building the packages, the services that you do for clients and stuff. Have you came to understand any? Are we lazy? Are we kind of always looking for the path of least resistance? What is it about this thing, about this human mind, that we're easily taken off track, or that we have to train ourselves with things in close proximity? What have you found out there?
That's an excellent point because we certainly are lazy. However, we can use this to our advantage. So, as an example, if I wanted to eat ice cream, I couldn't go to the fridge and eat ice cream. It's not there. I'll have to drive 15 minutes to the grocery store, get the ice cream, talk to the cashier, pay, come back, then unwrap, then eat it. That's a lot of effort just for ice
Yeah.
cream. I like ice cream. I like ice cream that much, right? So if you only have healthy choices in your vicinity, you'll make healthy choices. So many people think that being fit, being healthy is about willpower, and I disagree. It's about convenience, right?
Right.
If in your vicinity you only have healthy options, ideally healthy, tasty options, so you look forward to eating foods that are good for you,
Yeah.
then everything becomes a lot easier. That's another beauty about exercising at home. You
Yeah.
don't have excuses. Your home is right there. Your body is right there. You just need a plan,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I believe that a lot of people that need to be fit the most are the people who are most resistant to go to the gym. They are
Mm,
intimidated, they don't feel good about themselves because they don't look good, so they don't want to go to the gym,
mm,
right? And I believe the gym often is just another obstacle in the way, right? Now, if you have a home gym, great, right? But that's not necessary.
yeah.
Now, if your goal is to be Mr. Olympia, if you want to be on stage, if you want to compete in bodybuilding, yes, you need to go to the gym.
Yeah.
But if you want to lose 30, 40, 60 pounds, just want to have a six pack, you just want to look above average, you
Hmm.
just need to know what to do. That's it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Brilliant. Let me throw some quick ones at you then, because we were talking about things like the water intake, like sleep, like walking, etc., etc. So just to kind of get your opinions on things, the water stuff. Any thoughts on that? You know, some people, oh, it's got to be 6 glasses a day. No, it's got to be 12
Yeah.
glasses. Any thoughts on that point?
This might be an odd indicator, but what I tell everyone is try to have that your urine is almost always transparent, right?
Right.
And that's a good indicator. Now, obviously, if you take some vitamins, if you eat some foods, it will be different.
Sure.
But in general, if when you pee, it's like super dark yellow, you're not drinking nearly enough water.
Right. Excellent. So use those markers. You know, it's there. It's a visual marker. You can see and check. Love it. Brilliant. On the walking part of the puzzle, are you one of the guys that says you've got to do it every single day? It's got to be for a minimum of 2 hours. It's got to be. What's your thoughts there on metrics, if you like?
Right. So ideally, 10,000 steps, that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
But what I say before that is just incorporate it into your life. You can tell right now, I have a standing desk, I'm standing,
Yeah.
and I have more energy this way. I can think sharper, I'm sharper on my feet. This is
Yeah.
something I do.
Love it.
Whenever I have a phone call, I never sit. Never happens. I always
Right.
stand, move, always walk around. At this point, it's unconscious. Right?
Yeah.
It's not something I have to think about.
Love
Right?
it.
If you have a meeting, are you able to walk with the person on the meeting?
Yeah.
Right? There's so many opportunities in life where we can walk, we just choose not to.
Yeah.
Or just every 30 minutes, set a small reminder to yourself, small alarm, take a 2 minute stretch break, 2 minute walk.
Mm.
Because
Hmm.
it's so easy just to stay at the computer for 8 hours like this, not move.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can just incorporate walking to daily life, that will maybe already make a huge difference. Now, some people need more of that, but the majority of people, if every 30 minutes they took a 2 minute break, if every time they had a phone call, they walked, if they took the stairs instead of the elevator, small changes like that, don't take time, take very little effort, that would make all the difference.
I love it. You know, I love your approach to things. I love how clear and simple it is. I love how you know that we're lazy. You know, mentally we've got this thing, this kind of this discomfort, this friction in us. So let's use it to our advantage. Let's get things closer to us. Let's make easier choices. I love that. And then I love the fact that you're setting standards because you mentioned earlier we brush our teeth every day. You don't need to get an online course about it. You don't need to go to a 2 day training workshop on it. You just brush your teeth every day. So why not set a standard then? When that phone goes off, you are now the person that when you make your phone calls, you're not the person who sits in the seat and makes the phone calls. You're the person who gets up and walks about and does the phone call, just like brushing your teeth every morning and every night. It's making those standards, isn't it? And it's making those kind of patterns just part of your life.
100%. And it's about who you are. You know how you hear
Yeah.
people say that if millionaires and billionaires became broke, they'll be able to make the money again. It's because
Yes.
of their mindset, it's because they know what to do. They have so much belief in themselves. They know it's a system.
Yeah.
If I woke up tomorrow and I was 400 pounds, if I was like a really big guy, then obviously it'd be difficult, but I'll still know it's possible. I'll know what to
Yeah.
do and I'll know what it takes to get there. Right? So
Yeah.
you need to have certain standards of yourself, certain things that you do no matter what. And again, most people go about this the wrong way. They say, I'm going to work out 3 hours a day. I'm going to eat something super strict, something super unrealistic. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's start with the easy wins. Master those, and if you're able to master those, then the best time to start your fitness journey is when you're most busy, is when you're most stressed. Because if you can
Yeah.
lose weight while you're stressed, if you can lose weight when there's so many things going on, then
Yeah.
you know for a fact you can lose weight in any circumstance. And that's
Yeah.
the goal. The goal isn't to look good for an Instagram picture in 12 weeks, because what happens after those 12 weeks?
Yeah.
The goal is to look good, have more energy in the long term, live longer sustainably.
I love it. Yeah. So it's more of a standard and less of a goal or less of a, some kind of metric that it's just you. This is who I am. I am a vegetarian. I am Chinese. I am someone who walks and talks when I make my phone calls. Just bring that into your character. I love that. Absolutely. I love that. When it comes to things such as sleep, where are you there? It's got to be 8 hours a night. Oh no, it's all about the quality of the sleep. Oh, where's your own kind of experience and thoughts on that one?
Right, so I say prioritize quality first,
Hmm.
then ideally try to get more hours, because 6 or 7 or 8 hours of quality sleep is better than 4, 3 or 2 hours of quality sleep, right?
Hmm.
But some of the quality. So three tips I usually give is make your room as dark as possible. You can wear an eye mask, you can have blackout curtains, you can cover all electronic lights. Second tip is make your room a cool room temperature, so around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 90 degrees Celsius. You can
Hmm.
have a thick blanket and a thin blanket. You can sleep naked. Once you do it once, you never want to go back. You can take a hot shower, hot bath before bed, right? You can have a fan, AC, whatever it is to make your room relatively cool.
Yeah.
And third one, which everyone struggles with, but it's extremely important, is low stimulation before bed. So avoid scrolling on TikTok and watching a useless video, avoid arguing with strangers on Twitter, avoid heavy arguments, avoid the news.
Yeah.
Instead, try to prioritize journaling, meditation, things of that nature.
Tremendous. I love it. And again, it's just making that part of your process. Yeah, this is now my nighttime process, bringing myself down, calming myself down, the room, the location, the light, the coldness, etc. That's fantastic. I love it. On the exercise front, you mentioned I mean, there's so many ways I can break off here. It's a fascinating subject. You mentioned how the gym can actually become an obstacle, and let's make it simple. And maybe you're at home and you can do things quite easy, and it's not a high hurdle to try and jump over. Where are you when it comes to exercise? There's people who talk about it's all about strength. Forget everything else. Forget about cardiovascular stuff. That's nonsense. It's all about strength because if you've got a good core strength, that's going to make you healthy. Or someone else, no, it's all about pounding the streets and becoming a runner and doing a minimum of 30 minutes running or walking every single week. This kind of stuff. Or it's about resistance training. Where are you on those kind of high level concepts when it comes to the subject of exercise?
So it 100% depends on the client's goals. There's
Right.
no one size fits all.
Right.
If you want to get lean, it's different than if you want to build a bunch of muscle. The exercise program will be different, right? So it just depends on your goals and it depends on your injuries, your fitness level, what you can do,
Mm,
what you can't. And a lot of people say, I hate this exercise. I'm like, cool, let's try this exercise. There's so many different ways to get to the same outcome,
yeah.
right? So many people think they have to eat foods they dislike, they have to do exercise they dislike to get there. But chances are there might be exercise that you maybe dislike less. You might not love it, but you
Yeah.
might not dislike it as much. There might be foods that you do like and will still get you results.
Mm,
And that's the best approach because if
mm,
it's not something you can do for a decade, then you probably shouldn't do it for a day, right? It's
mm.
about sustainability, not about a quick fix.
Yeah, sustainability standards, something you're going to stick to. I love it, absolutely love it. And on the food one, I mean, my goodness, if you want a hot button topic, food is it. The vegan, the carnivore diet, the high calorie, the low calorie, the high protein, the diet, the kind of, oh my goodness, there's so many messages out there and campaigns out there to try and put us into a certain camp, etc. Do you have any strong thoughts and beliefs on that, or do you have the same approach when it comes to the exercise thing, that it's kind of horses for courses? It depends on who you are and what your goals are.
Often depends on individual preference. I
Right.
actually believe it's pretty arrogant for me to give you a meal plan because that's like me giving you an outfit, be like, this is the only outfit you should wear. Nothing else looks good on anyone. Everybody looks different, everybody has their own style.
Yeah.
There's no one size fits all.
Right.
So, an exercise that I do with my clients, which all the listeners can do right now, is write down every single thing that you enjoy eating. Don't filter if it's healthy, unhealthy, convenient, expensive. Just write down everything.
Right.
After you have a full list written down of everything you enjoy eating,
Mhm.
underline what's also healthy.
Right.
Now, that's 80% of your meal plan. Now,
Right.
ideally, you have an expert that can tell you, be like, hey, a lot of people think this is healthy, but it actually isn't. Or they can say, be like, hey, you didn't underline this, and a lot of people think it's unhealthy, but it actually is. Right? So there might be a few misconceptions, but
Mm.
most of the time, people have a pretty good general idea. So
Hmm.
if all you do is write everything you're eating, underline what's also healthy, make that 80% of your meal plan, that would be a good start. Now, I'm a firm believer that dieting and losing weight is about adding more food and eating more of your favorite foods rather than less. So I
Ah,
never say you can't eat this, you can never eat this, eliminate it from your diet. I never say that,
okay.
right? I say maybe less, or maybe just not as much, or maybe
Mhm.
once a week, that's it,
Right.
right? But the way you eat more of your favorite foods is firstly prioritize healthy and tasty foods for the most part.
Hmm.
Then, secondly, every couple of weeks, every month, try a new fish, try a new vegetable, try a new healthy food that you've never tried before. Because there's so many healthy, tasty foods that we don't know are tasty because we've
Yeah.
never tried it.
Yeah.
Imagine if when I was 12, I continued to not try grilled cheese. I only stuck to McDonald's. There's so many foods that I did like, I just didn't know I liked because I never tried it. Right?
Mm.
And there's so many adults like that. Next time you're
Yeah.
in a restaurant that's like next time you're in a foreign restaurant, try like an exquisite dish, right? There's so many like exquisite cuisines, spicy foods, different tastes that you don't know that you like and are good for you, but just
Yeah.
give it a try, right?